Be me, back when I was 11. Had a friend who was the son of one of my mom's co-workers. Lived on the other side of town, so he had his own social circle. It was a rougher neighborhood. Kids would set up blockades on the streets with their bikes and collect tolls from other kids. Anyway, got chased a lot by these kids in bike gangs. Never got caught, but the implied beating added definite thrill to the experience. All of this a huge departure from my highly sheltered upbringing. Kid at the back of friend's cul-de-sac ran a fight club of sorts in his garage. Friend and I were the youngest, there were some older teenagers in there mostly. I'm constantly in the ring against this 18-year-old asshole who's getting high off of beating up 11-year-olds like myself. Always shoves my face into the concrete and belittles me, while the half-dozen guys laugh. Keep going back to fight him out of pride and/or autism. Figure one day I'll be strong or lucky enough. Nope. Pummeled, covered in scrapes and bruises all over my body. One day he takes money my mom had given me straight out of my pocket. Over the line. Decide something has to be done, thirst for revenge. Grab my friend's off-brand Nerf bazooka that his parents tried to get rid of because it was too dangerous, stupid high pressure. Ambush the prick while he's doing push-ups in his yard. Hit him in his ass. He screams and collapses. Run away. He didn't see me, no witnesses. Neighbors hear his wailing and come out to check on him. Hide in bushes, an ambulance shows up. Hear that his whole cheek turned black from the bruise, friend said his ass bone was chipped or something. Doesn't seem possible, but boy was he screaming. See him a few weeks later, and he's walking around all funny, limping and on crutches. Just looks miserable. Hate him so much but feel bad, regret what happened, but can never apologize. Ashamed that I shot a man in the back and ran. Decide the bazooka was too much power for man to have. Steal it from friend's garage and burn it out in a field to ensure nobody fishes it out of a dumpster. Probably gonna get cancer from inhaling all the melted plastic. Still feel good in retrospect for disposing of the WMD. Why not? Here's a story of me and Grandpa when we used to hunt. Be me last year. In the morning. Grandpa and I always sitting together shitposting and talking about war stories and being general boomers about it, having a coffee and chatting. Hey and on, you know him getting older and death is always close by. I get flustered in subjects like this and be all in denial with him. An hour passes after this chat. Grandpa knocks on door. I go to open it up. Grandpa in his Commando camo with his well-kept prize shotgun TOZ-34 and a shell belt. Anon let's go in woods and hunt for PARTRIDGES. Use Google Translate. I hope it's the correct name. Excitement.jpg. I get my IZH81 and we go. Grandpa fires up the old reliable Peugeot 403 and we go on a little trip. We get to the designated hunting ground. Hunting licenses in tow. Forest guards seething over. Based Grandpa and grandson going hunting. Chatting and sometimes stopping to hear where the partridge squeaks are coming. Grandpa tells me to get ready, so I top my shotgun with 5 bridge shots. He puts the partridge whistle in his mouth and motions for me. I get ready. Fear and excitement. JPG. He gives a mighty blow to his whistle, and the partridges start flying. I panic and empty the whole tube on the flying birds. Got a couple. You did good and I'm proud of you. Then we spend an hour or more looking for the dead birds. Gotcha. JPG. Now Grandpa hands me the whistle and the rolls change. We walk and walk till he tells me to stop. He loads his shotgun and motions to me to whistle. I blow on it, and the partridges start flying. He shoots them like a badass, not even fazed by the recoil for a 90yo man. We collect them and go home. Gramps always was a based fella that enjoyed the finer things in life like hunting and tinkering with classic cars and being loved by everyone in the village. Also couldn't post pictures because my IP is range banned from posting pics, so here's this https://postim.cc/ppgqnfy7. I have a pretty good theory as to why we are replacing them. Short story time. Be me. Be in a Ranavi. Posted to LHD, CNX. Had just done a trip overseas showing off our shit and shilling our weapons tech to other nations. A few days into an X, where flying is daily and nightly, suddenly stops mid-X. Became good mates with a bunch of birdies, enlisted rate helo techs. Out on the quarterdeck one night after knockoff and ask birdie bro what gives. Night flying means no smoking after sundown, aka no durries, after spending 12 hours on watch. Tells me about their usual pre-flight checks and whatnot. Night flying had wrapped up one evening, and they were collapsing the tail section on one of the new Taipans. Spots the retaining pin for the entire fucking arse end. With about 4 millimeters of metal holding it together. 2-3 RDS had been sheared off. His face when all birds grounded. No more flying. All pre-flight logs from both techs and pilots were heavily scrutinized and everything was above board. He had personally inspected the tail section and pin before that very flight, and it was perfectly normal. A simple routine couple-hour flight had sheared the main pin holding the rear rotor attached to the main chassis. Had the cunt sheared off, it would have been flapping in the breeze, and shit will have gotten real fucked real fast. There were 5 people on that craft during said flight. We have a bad history of helicopters and seawater. Birdie bro gets a formal commendation, pressed coin and mad props for his diligence and attention to detail. Hess a chain-smoking, Bundy drinking autist who just does his job well. Whole new system has to be written up, tested and vetted for pre-post flights until they can find a viable fix for this bullshit. On the bright note, we got to smoke till our heart's content until the end of that X. Except when we had Ospreys doing landings. Fuck Ospreys. They set our plastic ciggy bin on fire a few years ago from the sheer heat. Wash alone. Be me. High school. Skipping class in bathroom. Walk in and it's quiet and empty. Hear moaning. See feet stretched out under stall door. How did I not see him before? Don't know him here. Scroll through phone to kill time. More moaning. Sounds stop. Hear toilet paper noises for cleanup. 4'0" Asian kid walks out like nothing happened. Leaves without washing his hands or batting an eye. Wears designer clothes and has a purse. He is the school faggot and everyone knows it. Later I hear his name called on the loudspeaker to come to the front office. I walk in the hall past the office. Overhear the dean telling him he needs to stop being gay or he will be expelled. He refuses. He gets fucking expelled. We haven't had one of these threads in a while, at least that I have seen. Post some green text stories. I will start. Be me. Hard day of working. It's Friday so I can sleep in. Sleep in until the afternoon. Super hungry. Eat 8+ scrambled eggs. Feel like I can go 15 rounds with Apollo Creed. Go to the gym. Have a good workout, and I can barely feel anything. Stop by local store that evening on the way home from the gym. 4 blacks come out of an alley. Hey, why do you look like you have some money? Wearing gym shorts so not carrying. Head honcho of the group gets real close like a retard. Knock him on his ass with a left-hand jab and right-hand hook. Second in command tries to tackle me. Step out of the way. He falls on his face like a fucking idiot and then gets up and they all jog away. Hear the head nigger yelling at the 2 that just stood there. Shit nigga, are you a fucking bot my nigga? You was just standing there while we went in one at a time. Be me, dating girl. Best part of life. Failing classes, dreams crushed, became sad. Plan to off myself, break up and encourage her to meet a new guy so she won't be sad when I do it. Give away things, spend rest of money to buy gun. Can't do it. She's happier with new guy than with me. Try to win her back, autism makes me say racist things. Figure out she was on antidepressants, likely was as sad as me. She blocks me on everything. I listen in on rumors. She's genuinely doing better with him than me. 5 years pass. See her on Bumble, still working same job. She gave up on aspirations. He left her anyways. She gained weight, just looking for hookups on Bumble. Internet stalk her, she's completely changed. I get drunk and cry. Pick related. Anyways, that's how I got into guns. I'm planning on going to the gates of the Arctic in Alaska next summer for about a 2-week trip of canoeing and camping. Do you think a Wyndham Weaponry 450 Bushmaster Thumper would be a good weapon to bring to defend against brown bears? I was planning on carrying subsonic rounds in case I meet a grizzly up close so I wouldn't go deaf, and other rounds if I actually felt the need to hunt for food longer range. I'm concerned it's too big, but I'm also concerned my GP100 doesn't have enough power for a brown bear. What are your thoughts? Be me, Zogbot. Deployed to Afghanistan in 11. On patrol in the largest village we'd finally taken from Talifags. Rules say That Afghan forces must be present with us on all patrols and in all fights. We are patrolling with some Afghan soldiers. One of them has an RPG-7. We pass by a house with a walled yard and a sheet steel gate door. Sergeant wonders aloud what is behind the gate. Interpreter says the question aloud. Guy with RPG-7 understands this to mean that he should force the locked gate open. He uses the RPG-7 as a battering ram. WTF. GIF. My life briefly flashes before my eyes as he smashes the rocket so hard against that door that the primer cap bends to a sharp angle. The gate door barely moved. He winds up for the pitch again, but this time one of the sergeants stopped him before he killed us all. For the rest of the month I could recognize him because he didn't bother to change the rocket on his launcher for one that didn't have a fucked up primer cap. Eventually his platoon got rotated out to another area. Be me. Smell copper. Hear scream. Scared. See woman. Shooter. Obvious skinwalker. Her husband calls cops. Shoot him too. Cops get there. We all laugh. Become range bros. I barely made it out of there, bros. Mine isn't that spooky, but it's late and this happened, so here goes. Be me. Live alone with dog on farm, no neighbors. 15 minutes ago. Working on a paper. Hair high-pitched, almost feminine screech some distance outside bedroom window. Dog wakes up. Grab rifle to investigate. White light on, don't see anything near the house. Dog barking like her life depends on it. Truck lights are on. I haven't driven the truck in 3 days, the batteries would have been dead by now if I'd left the doors open. Back right door on the truck was cracked open. But it's late. Go to bed, Eastkist cuck. Your guns are gay, and so is your thread.